I don't know what I'm doing. Hello, plant friends. What? Hello, plant friends. This is Miro from Basic Plants, and welcome to my channel. It has really become a challenge to record videos with the windows closed and with no air conditioning because it's very hot. I think it was well over 30 degrees yesterday in this room, and if there is no video on Saturday, you can just assume that I have melted into just a puddle of water and plants have absorbed me. And well, in that case, please send someone, I think Monday or Tuesday, to water the plants. What's this video about? Oh yeah. Okay. In my last video, I talked briefly about my Hoya wish list, and I said that I would like to make a separate video about that. And this is it. It's already there. I just work like this. In that video, I mentioned some Hoyas that I ordered in April, so those are my top Hoyas that I really want to receive. I really wanted to make a surprise unboxing. If that doesn't happen, I just want to share with you in this video what those Hoyas are, and hopefully by 2021, we will see them. Hoyas that I ordered are Hoya undulata, which is absolutely my favorite Hoya. Another Hoya that I ordered is Hoya clemensiorum, and that is just a beautiful Hoya. It looks like it is from outer space. Another Hoya is Hoya kanyakumariana, and this one is similar to Hoya Danumensis in the terms of looks. Flower is completely different. They're not even similar, but the leaf is kind of similar. Another Hoya that I ordered is Hoya manipurensis, also very, very special looking Hoya. The flower, I think, reminds me very much of a decidia. What's a decidia? Decidia. I think they say well, whatever. It just reminds me of a D. D-I-S-C-A. I don't know. This is not a spelling bee. Hoya finlaysonii new or nova. That's the one that I also ordered because my Hoya finlaysonii is not the best clone, I think. And I really like this one, the clone that I saw. Ooh, the last addition to my order was Hoya pulinara from Vietnam. In terms of looks, it kind of reminds you of Hoya pulinara. I think it's not impossible to conclude it is Hoya pulinara or something related to that, but there is still a difference. I don't know if they will be shipped. The thing about shipping Hoyas, the window for shipping is closing in like a month and a half. How cruel! Which is a good thing to know if you are ever to order Hoya from abroad. Depending where you live and on temperatures, it's maybe best to order them in May or June. July can be very hot. August, obviously, it's an oven. And then September and October, in those months, we can have decent temperatures. You don't want to ship on days when it's too hot because they will boil. You don't want to ship on days when it's too cold because they will freeze. Plants be like that. Plants are finicky. That is also not what this video is about. Today I want to share 10 Hoyas with you that I find to be very unique. Some of them are not so difficult to find. The first one on my list is Hoya partiodis. This Hoya is very interesting in terms of looks. I think it is possibly one of the most unique Hoyas that you will ever see. And the reason for that is because it doesn't have any leaves, to my knowledge. It does produce leaves, but they are very short-lived, and what you're left with are just peduncles. The peduncles on this Hoya are green, so they are able to photosynthesize, but peduncles are not leaves. So there is a limitation to this, and this Hoya is very slow to grow. And the flowers are also very cute. They are very small and orangey flowers. From what I saw, it doesn't produce so many flowers per peduncle. I usually see photos with 1, 2, 3, 4 flowers. Maybe it will not produce as many flowers, but with flowers on those peduncles, I think the look is even more unique. So this next Hoya is Hoya hushkelyana, the variegated version. I hope I said that right. I always want to say with a hushkelyana, I don't know. Who thought of that name? And at first, I have to be honest, I did not like this Hoya so much. I did not find it so special, but I have a friend in Sweden and she kept telling me about her Hoya hushkelyana and how wonderful it is, and then I saw some photos and then it was over. I was taken by it. It is a very lovely Hoya. The leaves, they vary from, having the green margin, and then the center is usually cream, but like the colors vary so much from cream to yellowish to whitish to pinkish. It's just wonderful. It looks very, very cute. It looks like something I would like to eat. Actually, I'm not a person that will usually go for variegated plants, but for some reason, there will be few of them that will stand out to me and that I will really need to get. That one. The third Hoya that I would like to get is Hoya embricata, and I was really hoping I would be able to get it this year, but apparently not. Hoya embricata is a Hoya that I already ordered last year, but it arrived dead. It's a very wonderful Hoya. It has very nice silver splashing on the leaves, and I think this is why most of the people grow this Hoya, is because it has this shingling habit. Now, when you see it for the first time, it kind of has the leaves closed, but if you give it some type of support, like maybe a plank of wood with moss or something like that, it can actually spread out those leaves and then it will start to shingle. Another Hoya on my wish list is Hoya Cigulates solana. This is a Hoya that I received from Sweden, but it was not for me. It was for my friend, and it is a beautiful Hoya. I had a chance to see it in person. Even the leaves, I think, are quite nice to see. But what attracted me the most about this Hoya is the flowers. It has a very unique shape to the flower. It really does have this flower that almost looks like some type of decoration. I don't even know how to describe it. It looks to me like a glass flower, but I guess porcelain, they want to say it's porcelain-like. But that's not the best thing. I read that this Hoya is very easy to bloom, so that will be excellent. The next Hoya that I want is Hoya species IML 1398. That just rolls off your tongue, doesn't it? This is Hoya that is, I think, from Thailand. I also saw it being named like Hoya species Thailand, IML 1398. IML just stands for David Lidl's wife, Iris Marie Lidl, I think her name is, and the numbers, that's the accession number. So I saw different photos of this Hoya, but I do know a reliable collector and her photos are wonderful. It has that also prominent veining on the leaf, and I'm kind of shifting away from that, but I still like that very much. But I'm getting more into flowers of Hoyas. Before, I would just order Hoyas because of the leaves, because I had absolutely zero confidence that I will ever get them to bloom. I'm not quite sure why I saw different photos of this Hoya, because Hoyas with accession number like IML 1398. So the way these accession numbers work is that David Lidl would receive the Hoya, and then he would give it, first of all, it was possibly unnamed Hoya, so he would give it his own accession number, and then he would distribute cuttings from this Hoya. When he grows it as a plant, he would distribute cuttings, sell cuttings, whatever, and all the cuttings will have to come from the same plant, from the same clone. So all the cuttings will have the same number. So all the cuttings in circulation with this number should have come from David Lidl. Not directly, but like maybe some person bought it from him and then that person grew it and then that person sold it to someone, but they should all be the same clone. So that's how this works. And so I don't know why I see some differences. It could be the conditions. Hoyas are very known for this, that the leaves will look different in different conditions, but I just hope that all the IMLs 1398 out there are actually the same clone. And it's possibly that they're not, because sometimes people will ID Hoyas by the leaves and they will just assign the name, and you should not do that, especially with accession numbers. You should not take a Hoya that you think looks like this IML 1398 and say, oh yeah, that's that. No, don't do that. Anyways, this Hoya has very beautiful foliage, so I think on this list I have 2 or 3 Hoyas that are chosen for their appearance, so all the others I think I chose for the flowers. And that is true especially for the next Hoya, and that is Soya Danumensis. And this Hoya has a very beautiful white flower. I did not know about this Hoya until I think several months ago, when I saw the photo of this plant, of a cutting that bloomed, and it was just so beautiful. It is so gentle and fragile, and I am a sucker for white flowers. And the way they hang from the peduncle, there's just something about it. It's very elegant flower, I think. Not that other Hoya flowers are not elegant, but to me the white flowers are just very subtle and refined and elegant flowers. And I think that's because it reminds me of me. The next Hoya is Hoya Mcgillivray. It took me a while, to be honest, to memorize the name of this Hoya, and even now when I have to type it out, I always have to look it up. It's just like Mcgillivray. Cannot remember it. This is one of those Hoyas that I also picked because of the flower. I don't have many Hoyas with these huge flowers. The first Hoya I got this year is Hoya Onicoidus. And this Hoya Mcgillivray, there you go. It's gone. Bye. The name is gone. Hoya Mcgillivray has a leaf that is very reminiscent of Hoya Onicoidus, in my opinion. They can get a bit larger, I think. But what is most interesting is the flower on this Hoya. It's just a very strange shape. I don't even know how to describe it. You would have to see the flower, which you will. There is something almost gothic to this flower. I don't know how else to describe it. You wouldn't call it beautiful, and the flower can go from dark red to almost black. And related to that is another Hoya that I want, is Hoya Onicoidus. Now, to me, I would personally prefer to get Onicoidus and then Mcgillivray, because I'm not sure if I will be able to get both of them. Both of these are, by the way, very large Hoyas. They tend to get very big, and they are somewhat similar, but Onicoidus, I think, is even more special in the appearance of the flower. To me, the flower looks kind of like an octopus. But actually, the name means claw-like. Also a very interesting flower to see, quite unique to these two Hoyas. So Hoya Onicoidus does not have a flower like this. Maybe the foliage is similar, but flower is definitely not. I think maybe Mcgillivray is easier to get to bloom than Onicoidus. But, you know, that depends on your personal experience. I also mentioned in my wish list video that I would love to have a Hoya Multiflora, and that is still true, that I would love to have Hoya Multiflora, but the one Hoya that is similar to Hoya Multiflora and I would prefer over Hoya Multiflora is Hoya Loki. And the only reason for that is because the flower is white. That's it. That's the only reason. But there is a problem. To me, these Hoyas don't look very hardy. What I mean by that, I don't think they're difficult to grow, but I do think that they will not ship well. So most of the time I need anywhere from, depending where I get the Hoya, but anywhere from 2 weeks up to 3 weeks. That's how much time I need for Hoyas to get to me. I don't think that Multiflora or Hoya Loki, I don't think that any of them will be able to stand this long shipping. And the last Hoya that I almost got this year in my undulata shipment, I will just call it undulata shipment because it's the most special Hoya, is Hoya Cigulates or Cigulates. Honestly, I picked this Hoya both because of the leaves and the flower. There is just something about the contrast between the leaves and the flower. The leaves are narrow, kind of elongated perhaps, and they have that splash, that silver, similar to Hoya species Rangsen. Flower, and I'm not very good with colors, so the flower has the color of coffee in which you added milk. That's a very specific description. Champagne color, is that champagne? Brownish? Cream? What? Light caramel? I just work in very basic colors, like it's red, it's black, it's green, it's blue. And I will throw in some light blue, dark blue, whatever. I will throw that in. Those were my 10 Hoyas that I would love to get, I guess, in 2021. Honestly, I would like to get them this year. I would have them today. What the heck? I would have them today if I could. I hope you enjoyed this video. Do let me know below which one of these 10 Hoyas is your favorite. Also, tell me, what is the temperature where you are? Are you boiling? Are you melting? What's the deal? Thank you for watching. If you like this video, make sure to leave a thumbs up. If you would like, also you can subscribe to my channel by, of course, clicking the subscribe button. I also added my face somewhere here. I don't know. Somewhere in the corner there is my face. You can just poke it to subscribe. I will see you again in our next video, and until then, bye!